Howdy folks, I want to tell you about an interesting incident that happened to me. The reason I chose this site was because I have been looking at many similar sites for a long time, and I saw that most of what is described is an exaggeration. What I read on this site, on the other hand, felt more realistic and sincere. I'm going to start explaining the incident without further ado. I am a 24-year-old van man. I am the son of a family that makes its living through agriculture and animal husbandry. Every summer season, my family and I go to the village and deal with animal husbandry and October of crops such as wheat and alfalfa. One day, I went to the field to check the water of a field we were planting. The field was on a large and flat mountain, about 2 kilometers from the village. When I got to the field, I saw that the water was not coming, and I started walking towards the place where the water was coming to find the source of the problem. The water coming to the field was a spring water coming out from the bottom of the biggest mountain in our village. When I got to the very beginning of the water, I saw that the water coming into the field had broken out. Immediately after repairing the explosion, I was walking slowly towards the field along with the flow of water. I wanted to light a cigarette, but even though it wasn't windy, every match I lit was going out. Either there was something strange, or it seemed to me. Even though I finished the match, the fire wasn't burning, and I could really feel an energy behind me. While I was continuing to control the flow of water, the water suddenly stopped. I thought it must have broken out again, and I started to go back. When I was about to take a step, a voice very close to me pronounced my name. I looked around, but I couldn't see anything but deserted mountains. The same voice pronounced my name over and over again, 5 times in total. I was quite agitated and scared after this incident. I started walking with quick steps towards the village. I didn't meet anyone on the way, and when I got to the village, I told my family what had happened. What I told them also surprised and worried them. After that day, I didn't dare go to that field by myself. I wanted to share this event with you. It's up to you whether you believe in genies or not. After this incident, I began to believe in the existence of demons. I was scared. I was trying not to mind, and I moved towards the water muttering. When I reached the water source, I saw that the water had broken out from the same place again. I repaired it and started to go along with the flow of the water. I think the water broke out again before we took 10 steps. I knew something was weird. No matches were lit, no water was coming. Someone was pronouncing my name. It's our friend's game. I turned away again from myself when I was told. When I looked at the source of the water, I saw a tall, dirty bearded man sitting with water in his hand, staring at me. I was so scared. Who is this? I said to myself. Really, there was a strange, unusual type in the man. I probably thought I was hallucinating. Because there are poisonous herbs on the mountain at the source of the water, I thought that no one would come to graze sheep, and no one would walk to another village on foot when there is a road on that mountain. While I was pretending to take care of the water and thinking with fear, I raised my head that there is no man. Where did he go, I wonder? I looked a little further away. He was coming down the other side of the mountain. But it's so strange that he even walks. It's like he was running. But every time I look at it, it evokes a different feeling. Believe me, I can't describe it. I watched what he was going to do. When he got downstairs, I saw him bend down and pick up a scythe. Oh, I said. One of the people in our village hired this to mow grass. But it is not yet the season to cut grass. There is a time close to about 25 days. And who is this scythe? Oh, God, help me. I ran up to the village to force the bases. I went home in fear. My fear had passed. I had a cigarette with the young people of the village. It had been about 15 minutes DC. Uncle Metin, the owner of the grass field I just mentioned, passed by. Uncle Metin, I said, when did you bring me to work? D. It's early, isn't it? What deed? Said, well, I said, just now I went to the spring for field water, and a man was mowing your grass. "There is no such thing," he said. "Go look if you want," I said. "Come with me," he said. I said, "Okay." He got on his horse, I got on the back and we went. He looked, there was no grass mown. Everything is normal. Even the water of my field has reached the field. However, the last time it broke out, I fled to the village without doing it. Uncle Metin looked at me. "Where is he?" said. "Are you kidding me?" said. "You wouldn't believe it if I told you now." "Sorry, that's how I saw it." "Anyway," he said. And we went to the village. I went out in the evening, the power went out. I lit a cigarette again. A voice behind me said, "La." Even if I look behind me, there is nothing but darkness. I froze in my place. Believe me, I felt in my body that something was touching me. I turned around, the door was closed. I light a match until it goes out. I look at the light, there is no one. "La," he says. I don't know what it means. It means no in Arabic. I was so scared that when I opened my eyes, I saw that my mouth was twisted with fear and the whole village was on top of me. The text came to me. "Tell me the truth. What did you see in the field today?" Said, "I don't even want to remember, I'm afraid." I fudged it. I said, "I didn't see anything, never mind," and stuff like that. "I saw it too. Tell me, what did you see?" Said, I don't know if he's thinking about it, but I said, "Leave me alone." And I went to bed and went to sleep. It was in the morning, I got up, went out. The flow of water in the fountain. "Oh," I said, "let me wash my face." I leave my hand in the flow of the water. My hand does not get wet. It was unspeakably terrible and strange. It took me a moment to lift my head and see that thing. I screamed and woke up. Turns out, it was a dream. I've moved out. It was like a reincarnation. It was the same as the dream. It was in the morning. There was a current of the same water, and I was going towards the water. I put my hand in the flow of the water, but it wasn't getting wet. It was an unspeakably horrible and strange feeling. When I looked up, it was as much as I screamed when I saw that thing. I woke up. It turned out to be a dream. I went out, went to the fountain to wash my face. It was early morning and there was no one around. I turned on the fountain and stretched out my hand to the current of water. My hands got wet this time. I smiled and forgot about the dream. I washed my face, drank water, and raised my head. At that moment, I wish I hadn't raised my head. Right in front of me, the man in the dream was standing. He had black skin and busted lips, with his hands stretched out behind his back. "I didn't want to look into your eyes." I shouted, but my voice was not coming out. I saw him hit me once on the body, and I fell to the ground. When I fell, I noticed that his feet were like tree roots. The last time I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital in Van. The orthopedic doctor came to me and said, "The horse that hit you from the scars was very strong." "You're lucky," he said. "What horse?" I asked. People who saw it in the morning told me that a horse had hit it, but I was sure of what I saw. It wasn't a horse, and there's still a mark where he hit it for 3 years. If anyone wants, I can even show you a photo. I haven't been to the village for 3 years after that incident. Shortly after the incident, there was an earthquake. It was about 2 o'clock on Sunday. There was a terrific jolt. When I looked out the window, all the buildings were swaying as if they were playing a game. The earthquake stopped, and we started to run away. The last time I was looking in the rooms to make sure of all my brothers. I saw him again in the last room I entered, but only until I opened my eyes, and then he disappeared. Then we went to my uncle's in Diyarbakir as a family. From there, I went to a very religious teacher with the help of my uncle. I told all the events alone. I don't know why they would do such a thing to you. But when it comes to the subject of horses, when there is physical contact, they can be seen by anyone, even with a human eye. Probably the fact that that strange thing hit you made people see it as if it was shooting a horse. And do not let Allah show anyone what you see. I wrote a verse from the noble Quran and made an amulet. I have never seen it since that day. I can also show a photo of the place where he hit anyone who wants. I actually tried very hard not to remember the permission photo that has not passed for 3 years. Even sharing it reminded me of those moments. But the reason I'm telling you is because this is life. Anything can happen to a person at any moment. To remember that we should not forget Allah, the only one who protects us. I am currently reading the Noble Quran and performing all my prayers. And I have a feeling that if I leave the religion, those evils will come to me again.